Okay, today we're gonna make this super cute sleeping kitty cat, and this is the orange and white version. And today I'm going to make a magical rainbow version because my granddaughter loves rainbows and she calls it Waymos. So this is going to be Waymo, the magical rainbow kitty. Here we go. The yarns I'm going to use for my magical rainbow kitty. This is the little ones all around are the mandala that I have just deconstructed and made into center pull cakes. If you don't know how to make a center pull cake, definitely check out my link in the description with my video on how to do that, because this is such a lifesaver, especially with the knitting machine, crochet too, but when you got a knitting machine and it's pulling straight from the top and not rolling all over, super helpful. And then this I just got from Walmart, $2.98 for sparkle, and it is soft, so I love it. Here we go. I'm going to start with the white simple cast on. And I'm going to do 4 rows of white. 1, 2, these stuck here. 3. 4. Now I have to say, if you haven't bought a machine yet, which you probably have because you're looking at this video, but I also have an Addy and it works way better. The 22, the 40 and the 46 are comparable, but between the 22s, there's no comparison. The Addy 22 is way better than the Central. Little freebie in there. Okay, now we're going to switch colors. Watch to be sure that the previous color pulled in. Then you're going to want to see that the new color is pulled in. Then you're going to pull the previous color. That's nice and tight. Okay, now you're going to do 3 of the color and then 3 white. And you're going to do that 30 times, and I'll meet you at the end. So we did 4 rows of white, 3 color, 3 white, 3 color, 3 white, 3 color, 3 white. And now we're going to do 15 rows of color, and this is going to be little kitty's butt. I'm done with my 15 rows, and I'm going to do a simple cast off since we are going to be closing this tube. So you want to go around 1 time. And here's a trick. Don't go all the way over here because it'll stop pushing off the ones over here before you have a chance to catch them. So stop over here. And I always put my finger over the next one because I have just pulled stitches off too many times, and it's frustrating when you have to try to go pick up the stitches. So I always just put my finger over the next one like that, then you can't pull it off. And you're going right in between the 2 teeth and then up. And it's really important that you do not split the yarn. So be sure you're pushing down and going all the way around that yarn so that you're not splitting it. Because we're going to pull this through. This is going to be like a drawstring to close up the end of the tube. Okay, when you get to this part, you go around and sink those, and you can keep going. And that's it. Cute little kitty body. And we're going to close the ends of these tubes. And then we're basically going to do the same thing for the arms and the legs, except they're going to be 5 rows for a paw, and then color white, same thing, 9 times. And then you're going to do 1 more color of 3, and then 5 for the other paw. So 5, and then we're doing the 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 stripes, 5 on the end. So you're going to make 2 of those tubes for the arms and the legs. If you do find that your stripes are not lining up, it's simple to fix. Just go in and tighten up that where they were connected, and it will straighten that up again and make those line up. Don't completely close both ends yet because we are going to put a little stuffing in this for the body. Okay, once again, I'm going to put the new color in. I'm going to hold it, make sure the old color goes in, new color goes in. Tie it just one time because you can go back and tighten it after you're done. And 3 rows. 1, 2, my machine does not like this yarn. 3. Put it in the middle. Then you do the same thing for the white. Put it in the feeder. Hold them. Make sure that one goes in. Make sure the new one goes in. Tie them once. 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. All right, so here's what you should have when you're done knitting. We have our 2 arm and leg, tail. This is the body. This is the muzzle. These are ears. I have an extra one because I don't know which color, 2 colors I'm going to choose yet. And this is a head. Again, I made 2 because I couldn't decide what color yet. So you would only have 1 head, 2 ears. So those are all your knit pieces done. Nothing's totally closed off yet. This is just stuck in inside, just like if you were making a beanie. It's folded in half with one inside of the other. See, that's just all that is. So, but nothing's totally closed off yet because I'm going to show you what to do now. So we have all of our pieces knit, and what you're going to need for the assembly is some scissors, a little bit of stuffing, and a yarn needle, and a little bit probably of yarn in various colors. So first thing we're going to do is this body. So this is the body piece that has, this is his little rear end. So you're going to, hopefully you left a long piece on that. If not, tie another one on, no biggie. And we're going to thread this. We're just going to close the end, and I suggest don't close it too much because it looks like a little kitty butt. It's cute. So I just closed it a little bit. I went through a little bit more like that, and then just poked through and tied it off inside because I think it looks cute. Okay, now we're going to just lightly stuff it. So for the body, we're just going to, we closed it off, but not too much because it looks like a little kitty butt and it's cute. And we're just going to lightly stuff it. Not too much because he's sleeping, so he's kind of relaxed. This isn't a real fat kitty. Of course, you can make it however you like. But I like it just a little bit, you know, just to give him a little form. Get this up a little higher for you guys. All right, and now we're going to close the end, but we're not going to close it like this. We're going to close it flat because the head is going to sew on here. Okay, so we're going to pull it up a bit and then thread that needle and just go back and forth to close this off. I like to go through the knit stitches, but it doesn't really matter because we're not taking this out, so that the stitches aren't going to, not going to drop any stitches, in other words. But I think it looks a little better if you go through the knit stitches when you can. My real kitty is named Mushu, and he loves to just come and lay on whatever I'm doing, usually my computer, and make it type all kinds of wonky things. But he always loves to be near me and on my lap. So when I'm here at my home in Colorado, I don't have my kitty and I miss him. So now I have a little shelf sitter kitty for here. Put in the comments, do you have a cat at home? And does he do naughty things like that for you too? Like bat all your paper off your desk, and the weirdest thing, my cat likes to eat flowers. Like if my husband brings me flowers or something, my cat eats them. Isn't that weird? Does your cat do that? Okay, here's our body. Set it aside. Now we're going to do the legs or arms. It should be the same. I accidentally made my legs a little longer. Not a big deal, but yours will probably be the same. Now, here is where our seam was. If this was something that it was going to matter, I'd go back and pull those up so that they line up really good, but it's totally not going to matter because what we're going to do is this. We're going to totally sew this in half, and that way you don't have to stuff it, and it looks great. So we're going to do that with a mattress stitch. So what I recommend is to start in the middle, actually, because then you know that you're getting things lined up well. Let me get some, I guess I'll grab some white here, a little bit longer than the length of the whole thing, and then I'll go from this side out and then that side out. I have my long piece here, and just going to start here in the middle so that I can make sure that my things are going to line up. I'm not going to tie it because once I go that way, I'm going to take this same yarn and go the other way. You line it up, and then you always want the same thing happening here as happened here. You see how I picked up this 2 yellows? So I want to make sure the next one, 2 I pick up are 2 yellows. If I go what looks like straight across, there it is, 2 yellows. So 2 yellows, 2 yellows. Don't do it tight yet. And then if you don't know how to do mattress stitch, all you're doing is going to the next 2 bars. Now we have a yellow white. So we want to make sure, I'm going to leave a longer tail on that. Let's go the other direction. Now we're going to do, that was yellow white, so we got to make sure this is going to be yellow white, and it is. And what's really important with mattress stitch is that you stay on the same row. Just keep watching that your stripes are lined up. Now when you pull it tight, if it doesn't line up, it's hard to tell now with only a few stitches. I think I'm going to wait and we'll see. It should line up. So I came out of this one, and the very next bar there is this one. So we go through 2 bars. And I came out of this one. So the very next bar is this and this. Let's go back and forth a couple times and let's check if that is that orange, 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 orange. See how that's doing as far as lining up our stripes go. Yeah, it's doing a good job. And honestly, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but that's pretty darn lined up here. We can always pull a little bit and adjust. You know, when the leg's like that, it's going to look great. Okay. I'm just going to keep going back and forth, and I'm going to go all the way down to this side, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to go all the way down to that side, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I left that one running just in case you wanted to slow it down and watch if you are new to mattress stitching. But now I'm just going to close off these ends and then do the same thing for your other arm and for the tail. Okay, we have our 2 arms and legs done, but now we're going to do the tail, and we do the tail a little differently. Instead of folding it in half, we want a little bit of a rounder, thinner tail. So we're going to actually fold it in thirds. So we're going to fold it like that, and then fold it like that, and then we're going to pick a row like this and do our mattress stitch the same way we did before, keeping it all on the same row, but instead of just folding it in half, you're going to do it a third and a third, and that'll give you a nice round tail. All right, see you after we do that. We have our arms, legs, tail. Now we have our body too done. And now we are going to do the head. So you should have knit the head. I only did these colors because I ran out of yellow, and it's going to be on the inside anyway, so it won't matter. So now you're just going to fold it into the inside just like you were doing a hat. And we're going to close off the ends. I think I'm going to go do the ears next and come back to this because I'm not actually sure. This might make a cute kitty head too, and I need the ears to finish it and figure that out. So I'm going to do the ears now. So the ears, we're just going to pull up the bottom here a little bit, not too much. Pull up the top a little bit. Then I'm going to fold the sides in, and then I'm just going to, so you fold them down to the center and then you fold the top over again. That is going to create our ears, and then we just sew this together, and then I take a stitch and pull this in a little bit so it's not sticking out quite so much. Basically, you just sew that together, and then you're going to sew the edges of this down and the edges of this down, and then sew it onto your kitty. Now I'm going to finish off this head so I can decide which color of these little ears I'm going to put on this head. I'm going to go ahead. I'm thinking, let's see. Or, what do you guys think? Or would it be cute to have a really magical looking kitty like that? I don't know, it might be cute. Let's see what the body's gonna look like. So it's gonna look like this. It's gonna be the body, here's gonna be the head. That might look pretty cute. Or yellow. Plus it's gonna have the little white muzzle. I don't know, I'm thinking I like this. Might be pretty cute. It's gonna have the little white muzzle on it. I still think that's gonna be cute. Okay, we're going for it. So I'm gonna close off these ends on both sides. Now we're going to stuff it. Now when you're stuffing the head, sometimes depending on what kind of, sorry, that was noisy. Sometimes depending on what kind of stuffing you have, it can look lumpy. So something I like to do is just to pull it around like this. And then when you keep adding more to it, it stays pretty darn round. So do that. See how that looks. You don't want to overstuff it because it'll stretch out your knitting, but you also don't want it understuffed because then as the child plays with it and such, it can get looking a little sad, like it doesn't have any bulk to it. So I think I want a little bit more because it does tend to pack down after a while. Again, I do my little ball stuffing trick. Learned that from doing Waldorf dolls. Any of you ever made Waldorf dolls? That is really fun. I made all my kids Waldorf dolls that looked like them when they were growing up. And my daughter had one that she called Emily Bow that she just loved and had to, take everywhere with her, and, one of those things. Very special. And then my boys liked theirs because they would play karate with them and hit them all around, and, that's how they like to play with it. So now I'm going to do a little running stitch around the edge of this to bring this together. And I'm just going to go like every other right on the edge here. And that is going to pull in my little head. Next up. So here's the muzzle. I closed the ends, did a little running stitch around the edge so that it could have a little roundness to it, a little 3D effect. Just going to sew the muzzle on here. Right about there. Now, a little tip about this. When I made this same kitty with some slightly thinner yarn, I was able to pull it together no problem to close the hole. On this thicker mainstays yarn, the hole did not want to close. So you can see I just took a couple stitches across to fill in that hole, and the mouth embroidery will cover that up. So if you can't get it to close all the way, that's what I did to remedy that situation. So now I'm just going to let this be a little bit cuppier, maybe a little bit. Pull it in a little bit more, just to give it a little bit more of a 3D coming out muzzle kind of look. All right, like that. Nice and round. Okay, here's the eyes and noses that I got on Amazon. And I just love this cute little pink nose. So cute for bunnies or kitties. So I'm going to just get that in the backing. And you definitely want to put this on before you sew it on. So this is just going to be right toward the top. Push it in. Sometimes it gets a little stuck. That's okay. There. Cute. Now before I put the backing on, I'm going to go ahead and embroider the mouth just to make sure I have it right where I want it. Because once you put the safety nose on, can't really get it off. And it's much easier to do this now than after, obviously, it's sewn to the head. So all we're going to do is go from the center up under this little nose right in the center. Right from the center to up under the nose. And then back to the center. And a little bit of a smile. Just a little bit. Happily sleeping kitty. And you don't have to make it really tight, and it'll look more round. Just kind of mess with it till you get it how you want. I think that is a little bit too big. I think I want the smile to not be so long. It's not sticking out so much on the edges. Just a little bit. Because he's sleeping, so he wouldn't have a big smile on his face. I like that better for a sleepy kitty. Okay. We'll do some embroidery on the eyes after we get this attached. One more time. Yes, I do like where that nose is, so I'm going to go ahead and put the back on it. This guy is slipping all over the place. Did I get the wrong size one? Maybe I was supposed to use the bigger one. Oops. There we go. And now to make safety things extra safe, and twisted. There we go. To make them extra safe, what I like to do is just take a lighter and melt this a little bit and smoosh it, and it'll make it so it will never come out. You want to be super sure this is super safe. And that's how you do the muzzle. Now I'm just going to sew it right here, and we'll be done with that part. Then we'll go on to the eyes. Okay, now we're just going to sew on the muzzle and kind of try to picture what it's going to, where I'm going to put the eyes. See kind of what it's going to look like. Make sure I got it put where I want it. And then you're going to put the cute little ears on. Yeah, I think that's good. And we're just going to go around and sew it on. Eyes are so important, though. They make up the expression. So don't be afraid to experiment a little bit and get them just right. They can make all the difference in a doll or a toy. I got my little head done with the ears. And so now I'm going to sew the body. And this is why we didn't want to stuff this too much and why we sewed this together flat rather than the way we did the other ones. So we're going to fold this in half to make sure we have the center, which is this white stripe as a center. And we're just going to sew this down there because the head is going to go like that. And then these, of course, are going to fall down to the side. So this is going to fall off the shelf, and then the little kitty's going to be like that. So this will effectively be his little shoulders. We have the middle white one, and we're just going to sew this down. Okay, make sure we have the best side up. And make sure the center again, this one. All right, I'm gonna put it right there. So first I'm just gonna sew it right here. Then I'm going to go down under here too so that it's not going to flop up like that. Most of this will be hidden under the head, but it's good to have his little shoulder looking nice. Okay, now we're going to sew on the little head, and it's sideways because he's sleeping. I like to go around once kind of loose and then make sure everything looks good, and then go around one more time a little bit tighter. Make sure everything's hidden and all that good stuff. Okay, I went around once. I'm going to go around again and make sure that everything is hiding and pulled in nice and tight so that he looks nice when he's hanging off the ledge like that. Time to sew on the legs and tail, and I think it looks cute that looks like a little kitty butt. I I sewed a tail on just above it. You don't have to, but I think it's cute that way. And then you want to center this. Again, find the center. It's this yellow one. So, and I'm going to let the butt stick out just a little bit beyond. And then I'll sew this on just like I sewed the arms on. And then we are done. And here she is. This is Waymo, the magical rainbow kitty. So here's our final sleeping Waymo, the magical rainbow kitty with her little whiskers and everything. So there you have our Waymo, the magical rainbow kitty. And I can see this cat made in lots of different colors, even black maybe with fur. Ooh, that's a good idea. So that was fun to make, and I hope you liked it. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.